For a long time, the best headlights you could get for these trucks was an HID conversion kit, and man, it's so much more work to install. You got to mount a ballast, you got to run wiring, and in this video I'm going to show you we finally got an LED option that is so close to the HID brightness, it is unbelievable. So today we're going to be installing the Supernova V4 headlights in the low beam. We're going to be installing the new PerfectFit bulbs in the high beam, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know when it comes to doing exactly that. So let's head to the garage and get started. The first step in taking the front of your truck apart is pulling this black plastic cover off. And there are 6 plastic push pins that you can get under with your fingers or using a pry tool. Pop them up. And all we're trying to do is expose the hardware that holds this grill on. With all those removed, you can actually keep them right in the cover so that they don't disappear on you. Set the cover off to the side. Now you've got 4 10mm bolts to remove, starting with this one. Now the bolts on the outside are threaded into plastic, and that bolt looks a little bit different thread-wise. Make sure you put the bolts in the right spot when you reassemble this thing. Last thing you want to do is take this coarse thread plastic bolt and put it into your metal cross member. It's not going to work out well. Set the bolts to the side. Now we can pull the grill off. And if this is the first time the grill's been off on your truck, it's going to be a little tight. Grab each side like this and just pull it straight toward you. Like so. Now we've got 2 10mm bolts holding the headlight in. We've got one right here and we've got one right down here. You can get at those with a ratchet or an impact, whatever you've got on hand. Top one and the bottom one. Set those off to the side. We've almost got the headlight out of the truck now. We need to go down to the wheel well, pull a little access panel, and reach up, and there's a little plastic tab that you need to push up to remove the headlight. So, coming in from down here, take your pry tool and get under the center of this little push clip. And remove it like so. At this point you can reach in, there's a white plastic tab, and just push up on it. It's hard to show it on film, but it is there and it's not too hard to find. We can finally pull the headlight out of the truck. Grab onto it with your left hand like right here, and just pull it toward you. Go ahead and pull the headlight toward you a little bit so you can see what you're working with. Push in on the tab for the turn signal and remove it. And pull out on this little gray connector here, press down, and disconnect that. Now we can take the whole headlight out of the vehicle and over to the bench so we can install our headlights. So we finally got our headlight out of the truck and we can finally get it upgraded to LED. Remove your low beam dust cover. Set it off to the side. Turn the bulb counterclockwise and pull it out toward you to remove it. Disconnect the wire connector there. And here's what our Supernova V4 bulb looks like compared to the original bulb in the Ram headlight. We've been so busy the last year testing hundreds of bulbs, trying to find the next big thing for these Ram pickup trucks when it comes to their headlights. And the Supernova V4 is exactly that. It is the product of all of those hours of testing, the hundreds of bulbs that we personally purchase here, making sure that what we're selling you is actually the best. So all you need to do is install this headlight, same way that it came out. Turn it clockwise to secure it. Now before you plug everything in for your bulb, there is one more piece of the puzzle that you need to make this thing work. And all of the testing that we've done has confirmed that you need one of these PWM modules on these Ram trucks in order to have your low beam work without any warning lights in the dash or any flickering issues. If you've ever looked online, I'm sure you found forums and threads where people have flickering, light out issues. If you just follow these steps, you won't have any of those problems. Take your PWM module and we're going to plug it into our factory connector just like so. Make sure the red wire on the PWM module lines up with the white wire on the factory harness. like so. And if you insert the PWM module to the right of the low beam bulb, plug this in like so, and then the driver fits just to the left of it as you're looking. So the best part is you can fit all of this stuff in there and still run your dust cover. Very, very important. Put the dust cover back on, and there we have it. So we've got our low beam done, and now it's time to move to the high beam. Now, this was originally a Supernova V4 video exclusively. Supernova V4 low, Supernova V4 high. We actually discovered, after all of the testing that we've done, the Supernova V4 sticks out just enough that you cannot actually seat the dust cover all the way onto the back of the headlight housing. Now, we ran our truck through car washes, we took it down dirt roads, we did all of our nighttime filming, our driving testing and everything. We never had any moisture issues, we never had anything get in the headlights. So if you wanted to run the V4s, let me tell you, they are unbelievably bright in this truck. The high beam is ridiculous. That being said, since it does not officially fit all the way and you cannot close the dust cover all the way, I'm going to instead recommend the Supernova PerfectFit bulb. The Supernova PerfectFit bulb is well over 3 times brighter than stock in this headlight, and it allows the dust cover to close completely. So remove your dust cover, disconnect your factory 9005 bulb. I'm going to open this up, and the coolest thing about these bulbs is, you know, you've seen all the bulbs on the market today that have crazy fans and everything. Look at this. This is so similar to the factory bulb that it fits in almost everything today. So if you've ever got a question about a bulb fitting in your vehicle or not, this is a very safe bet. Very similar in size, shape, and dimensions. If you're looking for something and you don't want any hassle, this is an excellent bulb. The cool part about this bulb is when you go to install it, plug it in, twist it into place, that's it. There's no drilling the dust cover like you see on HID kits. There's no pass-through harnesses. There's no headache at all. This thing just works. Excellent high beam option for your Ram. I'm gonna run back to the truck real quick and run you guys through how to do an LED turn signal upgrade as well. Chances are, if you've got your truck all pulled apart, the grill's off, you only wanna do this once. You don't wanna take your truck apart twice. Let's do a turn signal while we're here. It is well worth the extra time. Now the bulb we're installing today is the GTR Lighting Armor Series switchback. You can get just a regular amber bulb in the Armor Series as well. Some people do that, but I would say 9 out of 10 people go with the switchback, because the switchback, when the parking light function or just the headlights are turned on, it emits a really bright white light, and then when you hit the turn signal, it flashes amber. It's really a cool effect. It makes the truck look a lot more modern than it is. It looks like it's one of the new 2019 Rams with the LED turn signals. It's really a cool upgrade, but the Armor Series bulb just snaps right into that socket like the original bulb came out, and it goes right back into the headlight like so. There's one thing we need to take care of before we put the whole thing back together, and that's we need to install a resistor. If we don't install the resistor, we'll get a hyper flash. It'll be really annoying. It'll act like it's got a bulb burned out, and that's the last thing you want to do. So to install a resistor on this truck, grab your turn signal wiring. What I like to do on these trucks is cut some of this protective loom a little bit closer to the truck itself so that I can expose the wiring, because I'm going to need to mount this resistor to this sheet metal right here, and the closer you get back here the better. You've got 3 wires here, and we actually just shot a half-hour long video on everything you need to know about resistors, how to test the wiring, how to find the right turn signal wiring, how to use a multimeter, a test light, whatever you have in your garage to get this job done. So I'm going to run through it pretty quickly here. If you have any questions at all, check that video out. It's got everything you need to know about resistors and LED turn signals in it. But basically what we need to do is take our resistor and install it between the black wire, and in this vehicle's case it's the white with green, and that's subject to change from side to side and from model year to model year. So don't blindly accept the colors that I'm telling you. It might be different on your truck. I've got my white with green, I've got my black. We're just going to strip this back. I've got these auto strippers from a local parts store. They're awesome for these jobs. Here's what your resistor looks like, and these are not polarity specific. You can take this wire and attach it to either of the turn signal or the ground wires that we just stripped back. All that matters is this one wire needs to go to either the ground or the turn signal. This other wire needs to go to the other wire. I'm going to strip this back. GTR lighting includes T-taps to make these connections. You can use those or you can solder it. I prefer to solder them. I'm going to go ahead and tape these connections up, and then we'll be mounting the resistor. Notice how I didn't remove all of the wire loom here. What I like to do is tuck the factory wiring back into it and just throw a little tape over it. It keeps everything looking factory back here, as close to factory as possible, and prevents these wires from really getting chafed on anything. Now, take your resistor, take your supplied sheet metal screw here. Now we can finally put our headlight back in the truck. Everything plugs in the same way that it came out. Connect your turn signal wiring like so. Connect your actual headlight wiring right here. And reinstall the headlight. You'll feel it click into place. Now that the driver's side's all done, I'm going to run through the passenger side, do the exact same thing that we just did, and then we'll pull this truck over to our studio and compare the Supernova bulbs to the stock headlights that you're already way too used to. So we've got our truck pulled in the studio now, and we just took a measurement of our factory low beam in the reflector headlight. That came in at 310 lux, which is not bright at all. And if you're watching this video, chances are you already know that. So let's see what the Supernova V4 looks like in that headlight. The Supernova V4 headlight came in at 1700 maximum lux, and lux is your usable light output firing down the road. It's going to show you potholes, it's going to show you down in the ditches, it's going to give you the most useful number when it comes to measuring how good a headlight is. Now let's see what the high beam looks like. So we just fired up our stock high beam. That came in at 850 lux. These trucks actually have a pretty decent high beam, both in beam pattern and in brightness from the factory. Let's see if we can brighten it up a little bit. Remember, the stock one was 850. We got our Supernova PerfectFit high beam on in our Ram now, and as you can see, this thing maintained the stock beam pattern. It is just so much brighter. We've got a nice crisp white. This came in at 3,890 lux, which compared to 850, well over 3 times brighter. This thing, if you're looking for something brighter in your Ram for those dark roads at night, this is what you're looking for. What an unbelievable upgrade these LED bulbs are in this particular truck. Can you imagine driving these home at night? I don't know if you live down a back road, maybe you live in a city. No matter where you live, these things are a phenomenal upgrade for your Ram. If you want something for the rear of your truck, we've got the brightest reverse lights on the planet for these things. We've got license plate lights, cargo lights, you name it, we've got it. Visit our website. Thanks for watching.